So you're attending your very first networking event, or maybe you've been to a few, but you still feel a little bit out of place. So what exactly are you supposed to do? What exactly are you supposed to say? Well, my friends, help is on the way. Rhyming. What's up, people? It's Brian. Thanks again for tuning in. If you haven't seen the part 1 to this video, please check out the link in the description below. In that previous video, I talked about how to prepare yourself for a networking event, what to wear, what kind of things to bring. But once you're physically at the networking venue, what exactly you're supposed to do, what exactly you're supposed to say. And the last thing you want to do at a networking event is to pull out your cell phone and just be checking your Facebook feeds the entire time. Well, I've got some good news for you. I've been to many networking events, and I've even taken some of my mentees out to some local networking events and just to coach them through the whole networking process. From that, I've seen about 6 common issues that keep popping up over and over again. So let's run through them right now and how to address them so that you don't make those same mistakes. Number 1, we need to establish the mindset and goal as to why you're attending this networking function. So typically the initial reason as to why people attend these functions, they can get a job, maybe they want to create a new sales lead for their business or get the word out for a new startup that they have. That's fine, but I really don't want to make that the primary goal right now. Your primary goal instead should be to focus on how to network. You want to use this as an opportunity to practice your networking skills. How to flow in and out of conversation, how to lead the dialogue, how to excuse yourself from a really boring conversation, how to make people laugh, how to have them want to help you out. It's all kind of like a dance, and right now you're at the stage where you have to learn the footwork and practice. Number 2, have an opener. The reality is people aren't going to introduce themselves to you all the time, so that means you're going to have to approach people and say hi. And I know it's scary at first, but the good news is that it's actually not that hard to get rid of all that fear, and after like 2 to 3 introductions, you'll be feeling like you've been doing this forever. And you have to remember too that this is a networking event, so everyone has this mutual understanding that you're there to meet everyone else. So here are a few ways to introduce yourself. Look for someone who's bored, who's alone. They're probably dying for someone to talk to them. They probably feel just as awkward as you do. So just go up to them, introduce yourself, and say hi, and ask them how their night's going. Now, if no one is by themselves, look for groups of odd numbers, so 3s, 5s, 7s. You're going to find one person out of that group who's a little bit less engaged than everyone else, or maybe they're just not really paying attention to the conversation and look kind of bored. Just go up to those guys instead, introduce yourself and say hi. Introduce yourself to the person closest to you. So elbows touching, just within your circle, just whoever's nearby, just introduce yourself to that person right there and then. Don't even think about it, just do it. Now, if everyone's absolutely engaged, everyone's paired up and they're all talking to each other, mind you, that is incredibly rare. That is a proper opportunity for you to just excuse yourself and use the washroom, or maybe go grab a drink, talk to the bartender or the waitress, just so that you can still maintain that conversational energy, and then just return back to the area where everyone's gathered, and then from there see who's by themselves. Number 3, have conversation starters ready to go. That's right, you're going to have to arm yourself with questions to get a conversation going. What brings you here tonight? Any plans for the weekend? Tell me about your weekend. What do you do? So did you just fall into that? How did you get into it? Any vacation plans this summer? Any vacation plans this winter? Now, I also like to compliment people on something as well, and make sure it's a sincere compliment, but for some reason people really like you when you compliment them. So what I like to do is just kind of observe what they're wearing or what they're doing. Maybe they're a really good conversationalist. I will pick up on that and just kind of mention that to them, and somehow that really creates that connection and just really fosters that relationship just a little bit more to get you to that next level. And remember that this is supposed to be a conversation, not an interview, so don't keep throwing questions at them. Don't be afraid to talk about yourself a little bit. Had the conversation with some statements rather than just questions all the time. So don't be afraid to talk about yourself a little bit and to contribute to the conversation. Share what your vacation plans are, what you're studying, or what industry you want to get into. You also want to use this opportunity to engage in active listening, to learn how to lead the dialogue. Don't forget, you can also use this opportunity to practice confident body language. I have a video on that. I'll have a link in the description below as well. Number 4, introduce others. That's right, introduce others into your circle, into your conversations. they'll greatly appreciate it. And the whole point of the networking event anyway is to connect everyone with everybody else. The fact that you're the common denominator between everyone meeting everyone else, it's going to make you look good, and it's also going to make you look very popular. So don't be afraid to interrupt a conversation for a moment and just introduce someone into the conversation, just so that they don't feel so left out. Excuse me, Jane, I'd really like you to meet John over here. John is actually a real estate agent for the downtown Vancouver region. He focuses primarily on commercial real estate. John, meet Jane. Jane, meet John. Number 5, know how to excuse yourself. Sometimes a conversation does get really boring, really goes nowhere, and you just want to get the hell out of there. So you're going to have to learn how to excuse yourself in a professional, friendly, and smooth fashion. So for me, the easiest way is just to wait for a comfortable break in the conversation and just say, oh, if you'll excuse me, I have to go meet a friend, or I have to go use the restroom, to go grab a drink. It was a pleasure meeting you. Shake their hand and then walk away. And of course, if you're going to tell the poor chap that you're going to go meet a friend or go to the bar or use the restroom, definitely do that. You don't want to look like a liar right in front of the guy. Number 6, know how to close. You're obviously going to meet people that you think are going to be great to have in your network. These could be future acquaintances, friends, maybe career connections, or maybe a potential sales lead. Whatever the case may be, you're going to want their contact information. So you could just simply upright ask them for their business card. What I like to do is actually just hand them my business card, and they just reciprocate automatically. And you can do this at any point in the conversation. You don't have to wait till the end. You can do it in the middle, at the beginning, or whenever it's just appropriate to exchange contact info. And don't forget, it's very important that you actually touch base with that person maybe a few days or a couple of weeks after you've met. Just fire them an email and maybe connect with them over LinkedIn as well. There you have it, folks. 6 things that you can apply to your next networking event. And don't forget, at this stage of the game, it's all about practice, so that when you do meet that one person that will really help your career and you really want to connect with them, you'll have the appropriate skills to do so. Go to some local networking events. Go to meetup.com. There's tons of networking functions there that you can attend as well, and really practice your skills that I talk about today and just have fun with it all. So if you have a question you'd like me to answer in a future video, or maybe you want to work with me personally, go to my website, 101mentoring.com. Please like and share this video as well, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Guys, I think that's it for me. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.